Life is a journey made up of experiences, some good, some bad, some happy, some sad. We may all be different, but we are connected to the fact that no matter who we are, our stories all have hills and valleys. And so tonight, we dedicate this episode to all who have experienced loss and to the memory of my beautiful mother. Welcome to Simso Sessions. Hi everybody, and welcome to the show. So last week when I saw you, my mother was in the hospital fighting the coronavirus. We were all hoping and praying that she would have pulled through, but God had some other plans. And some of you may be wondering why I'm doing a show tonight. My own sister asked me if I didn't think it was too soon, but I feel an obligation, and I will tell you why. First off, although she may have been biased, this show was my mother's favorite show on earth, and she loved a lot of television, so that says a lot. So if only for that reason, I had to be on tonight. The other reason is that I felt obligated to do this show because there is so much loss and sadness happening around me that if I thought that there was any role I could play or this show could play or any way at all that we could help, then I was obligated to try, as difficult as it may be. And so that is what we will be doing tonight. If this is triggering to you, I understand if you're not able to watch it because it really is a lot. But if you have been affected by loss and you want to hear how others who have been affected by loss are coping and how you can start to build a toolkit to help you cope, then this is where you need to be tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk to my friend and sister, Empress Golding, who lost her mother Joy 2 years ago, and who was one of the first persons to reach out to me to share how she has managed to take baby steps to cope with her loss, which 2 years later is still very fresh to her. We're also going to link with clinical psychologist Sonia Winter, who's going to share with us how we get through this tumultuous time when all around us seems to be darkness and doom and gloom. How do we find light? How do we move on after losing someone we love? First, though, we check in with another of my buddies. His name is Garfene Grandison, who very recently lost his dad. Garfene and I saw each other maybe 2 weeks ago in the pharmacy. And we had a conversation that day that makes this conversation that we're about to have even more surreal and even more relevant. And so we're linking him now. Gigi, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Simone. Thank you so much.
Oh, gosh, it's good to see you. I'm going to go back to that day in the pharmacy. You looked at me, I looked at you, and we did a little fist bump, right? And by the time I got home, you sent me a message and you said, I don't like how you looked today. I know that look because I've been there. You recently lost your dad. First of all, let me ask you. It's a random and ridiculous question. You don't know how to answer it, but how are you, Papa? How are you?
I am... That's a question I get asked a lot, Simone, and normally my disposition is, I am okay, I'm fine. That's my go-to answer all the time. But I think as of late, I tell people how I honestly feel, and as I said, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm just getting up and doing things one day at a time because I honestly don't know what's next. That's how I kind of start to live my life now. What is next? And so because that's my mindset, I just live in the moment and I just do things step by step, not thinking about the bigger picture, because at this point, I honestly don't know if I can think about the bigger picture without being too overwhelmed or being triggering my anxiety, because that is something I realize now that I'm struggling with. That's never something I thought I had before, but now I'm grappling with that. So it's trying, and it's not getting any better because of everything that we're hearing going on around us, you know.
And that's
So
one
yeah,
of the
that's what
things
I'm
I
doing.
want to ask the clinical psychologist about when she comes on, because you said to me, I just usually tell people I'm fine, but you said you've never experienced this kind of loss before. It's not just your dad. You
Never.
said it's all death is all around you.
All around, all around. My mother-in-law passed. My dad passed, and then I think about 5 days after my dad passed, my aunt passed, and then I had friends like Stephen Scott was a friend. She passed, and then I'm hearing about others around me who's, whether it's grandmother, uncles have passed, friends father, friends mother. Like it's never before has death come so close to me. I've always heard about it in very lots of people around, but no, it's like it has engulfed me.
Yeah.
And I literally tweeted yesterday to say I've never in my life just gotten up and every single day I'm saying condolences. I'm saying, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear. I have no words. I am here if you need me. I mean, that for me has become so important. Just those words, I am here if you need me, because I realize that we need the help, we need the support, because it's just too overwhelming. Outside of that, I realize that I look around and I recognize that I am really and truly the only sibling that is here for my mother. Now, my mother has had this man since she was 18 years old. So in my head, I'm thinking, even though I am grieving, I know my mother is grieving way more than me. And I said, I know I need to be here for her. I need to be at my best, because if I need to drop and run to her, if I need to, do things just to sustain her, she needs me here. My brothers and my sisters aren't really here, so I'm the anchor. So I think at the end of the day, that's what I have at my forefront. It's not about me. It's bigger than me, but it's preserving my mother for just a little bit longer, because I recognize that she, and she said it just the other day, she's like, a part of her died when daddy died, because they've been together for 47 years. So I can't, again, because I'm a thinker, I think about all those things, and I'm just like, okay, I need to eat, I need to take my vitamins, I need to push through, because I need to be here to serve that purpose.
Yeah. I'm looking at the parallels in our story, because my siblings also live abroad. I'm the only one here. And come April 16 of this month, my parents would have been together for 50 years. And so my father is beside himself. And so there's a way that you just have to, while you try to take care of yourself, your focus becomes bigger than you, because you have to, I mean, that's a lifetime, you know? But you told me, Gigi, you said, I am the eternal optimist. We will get through this for the folks who are hurting, as we are.
Yeah.
But another thing that can help is physically having something. Tell me about your shirt. Let's see it.
Yes.
Let's see it.
This is actually a shirt. It says Super.
Yeah.
So my dad's nickname was Super, and so I think we should take that for granted, Super. But I think after you're looking back at his life, when everything that he did, we realize that Daddy was Superman, and so that's even the memorial service. We turned everything as a memorabilia for Superman, you know.
Awesome.
Even my eulogy talk about the word needed Superman, so that's what Daddy was, and so I continue to wear the shirt all the time.
That.
It just so happens that I had it on me the same, because I'm not at home, but I carry this shirt everywhere.
I'm so glad. I'm going to get some shirts made. Thank you, Gigi.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We're all going through it. Man, woman, chick, child. old, young, we're all going through it. Garfene, Grandison, thank you for bearing your heart and for helping us. Guys, I want you to understand this show is not, it's not a weepy, show. Obviously, it will tug at heartstrings and emotions because grief is real and you have to allow yourself to lean into it and to go through it. But in all of it, you have to find a way to take care of yourself and also to celebrate that person whom you loved so much. When we come back from this break, my friend Empress Golding is going to tell us how she has been doing that for the last 2 years since losing her mom, Joy. I'm going to talk about that after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Our guest, broadcaster, entrepreneur, producer, director, mother, friend, wife, him, everything, Empress Golding, who lost her mom, Joy, 2 years ago. If you watch, and you've been watching Empress on TV, or you listen to her on her new radio show, you're going to hear her invoke her mother's name and her spirit almost every single day. And she was one of the very first persons to reach out to me. I remember when you did. Welcome, lady.
Thank you.
I could hear your pain. It's almost like it triggered, because it's triggering. And one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that you were okay to come on is because I know that you have to go through some of your own stuff again.
No.
To be able to.
I know you're sure I'm not crying.
No, it's okay. We do that.
I'm coming here and I'm not doing it.
We do that a lot here. We do that a lot here.
Yeah.
But again, you said to me there are some things that have gotten me through. Beauty in the brokenness. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about that because some people are stuck, Empress. It's a lot. And they do, and it's a lot generally, but it's a lot now. And so if you can give me tips as to how you've moved and how you've processed and how you continue to process because it's still fresh for you, then I am grateful to have you with us. And I thank you for sitting in support of me as we sit in support of each other and have been since your mom passed.
Yes.
How has it been since that time?
Simone, when I knew your mom was in the hospital, every day I thought about you and I thought about her. And I've met your mom and she's such a beautiful woman, you know. And I kept saying, I hope she really
Look
makes
at the screen. Look at the screen. Do you remember that day?
Oh my God, that's when I met your mom. Yes.
So I was going through my
goodness.
camera reel to send some stuff to Lori, and my skin, my hair raised. That day you guys met in the pharmacy.
Yeah, and she
And you
embraced me. And I felt that she was like my mom. Because, you know, my mom lived in Australia at the time. And when I heard she was sick, I said to myself, please, I hope she makes this. Because I knew what it would do to you. I knew it would break you. And I knew you needed somebody to go through it, her in hospital. So I would text you and say, how is she? And I was sitting on my balcony and I said to myself, let me just text Simone. I didn't know your mom had passed. But it's been on my mind. I'm like, she needs to come through this. But it's a scary time because a lot of people don't. And we've all lost somebody due to this terrible disease, COVID-19. So you were on my mind and I text you. And you told me she passed. And Simone, I dropped the phone. I bawled uncontrollably, thinking about your pain. I told my husband, my God, Simone's mom died. And I'm saying to myself, how is she going to get through this? But it did. It triggered. I felt it was my mom that died and how I felt. And I said to myself, I need to be there for you because there are a lot of things you don't know, but we need to prepare for death. There are a lot of things we have to prepare for when we die and leave our children. And I think it's my duty with the information I have now to tell people there are things you can do to cope during it, and there are things you need to do or talk to your parents about before they go. None of us thought our parents were going to die when they did. You asked us to pray, we prayed, but you never know when your number is going to be called, and your mom's number was called. And I wanted to question God when my mom died. I wanted to question when your mom died. But I said, no, don't, because they're prayer warriors and they would never question God.
Correct.
We were
Correct.
taught not to ever question what God
I may
has for
I
us.
may have asked a question or two.
Yeah, I did, but I'm reminded
I may have
what they
asked a-
taught us to
yeah.
have faith.
Yeah.
And the song that came to my mind, you know, when Mom passed, through the brokenness. I mean, I was broken. It felt like all of my insides came out. And I cried uncontrollably. But there are things I've learned and conversations I wish I still had with my mom before she passed, because there was no will. I didn't know what to do. I'm the oldest child. I have a family. I have to get up. I have to run and go and handle the business of death. The pain and the grieving is one part, but there's another part. How do you close? How do you clean up her drawer, her underwear, her makeup, her clothing? And what do you do with all of that? And when you watch your father mourning in the depth of despair, and you can't do anything for him, and they were married 45 years, just like your parents are 50, and I heard Garfene. I mean, he said he doesn't know how he's going to live without her.
Yep. Yep.
And
That's-
now you go through that. You have to carry their pain. Then you leave your children, and they're watching you cry, and you don't want to cry in front of your children, so you run and hide and cry uncontrollably. I would lie down on the floor. I remember when I got there, I didn't bathe for days. It was so much.
Because your mom was in Australia.
She was in Australia, so I had to travel 3 days, or let's say
I
30-something
know.
hours to get there. But you have to lean on people. Here, my girlfriends turned up, and I accepted anything. If they said, anything I wanted, I needed, I just told them. When I was traveling alone. I didn't know what to do. Am I going to bury my mom? Am I going to bring her body back home to Jamaica? Am I going to cremate her? You know, I don't know what money is there. There's no will. I don't know what to do. And I'm lost. So I don't know how I made it through each airport. But there was always somebody there when I kept saying, what do I do? And I would say, Mommy, talk to me. And somebody would come and answer the question that I was asking. I didn't know these people, random people. And so I had a lot of answers by the time I reached my father. When you walk to the door, and I've been going to Australia, and you expect her at the airport, and you realize, oh my God, she's not here. And my mom was, my mom was my best friend. She was my everything. And when you lose that, you feel empty. You're so broken that you're like, who am I going to talk to? You feel like you've lost your soul.
So that's essentially the reason why I felt like I had to do this show, because after every single show, from the first show aired, it was like a new show. It was like a new experience for my mother. It was always like it was the first time. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you finally done this. Your dream has been realized. You've been through so much. I can't believe you've been through it, and look at you.
She's your
Every
cheerleader.
single show, every single rebroadcast, she would watch it as if it were. She never saw the one Monday night.
Simone, my
and
mom
it was
watched every single thing I did, and I understand. That's why I feel what you're gonna go through, and it doesn't get easier. It's 2 years now, and I'm still looking for my mom to send me a comment to say, oh, you did so well today. 2-3 days before she died, she sent me a message. She said, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to call you my daughter. And these are the things that I go back and look at. Go back through the WhatsApp messages.
I can't yet. I can't yet.
Yeah, it helps.
Maybe I will
one
be
day.
able to, but I can't yet. I can't yet.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
thought
not ready.
it was important for me to tell you the things that I used that would bring
Yeah.
that joy and that smile to my face.
Because the other thing I realize is that different people move at different speeds and cope in different ways. So my sister can do things that I can't. But the important thing is the village, as you mentioned, and then to be able to now take those memories and make them everyday memories. Some of the ways that Empress is coping. When we come back, we're going to talk some more with her, but also we're going to talk to a clinical psychologist. Her name is Sonia Winter, because it is so key to talk about how we process loss and how we process grief. What is the toolkit? What needs to be in the toolkit for you to even get to a place like Empress, where you can start to function again, much less to be even to try and thrive in your life after facing the loss of the most important person in your life. So if you can manage to watch, if you have experienced loss, I beg of you to stay with us for what is coming up, because I think that is perhaps the most critical segment in the show tonight. We'll be right back, myself, Empress, and our guardian angels, Mama Novelet and Mama Joy, in a minute. Be right back. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Empress has not left me. She promises that she will always be there. And we are there for each other, because support is a critical way to help you cope with grief. But when you feel completely overwhelmed with and by it, some people may not be able to or even want to talk to or see anybody because of the level of trauma and loss happening all around all of us. So I thought it very important tonight to have a professional resource to help us talk through how we cope, how we handle loss, how we process grief. So Sonia Winter, clinical psychologist, joins us now. Hi Sonia, how are you?
Hi, Simone.
It's good
I'm
to see
fine,
you.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
being
for
with us
having me.
today. All right, you're
Thank
in the
you.
screen, so let me turn and talk to you. I've spoken to you so
Okay.
many times on Smile, and I've always found your advice and your information really very useful. And so when I thought of a resource, I thought about you. Empress is here with me, having lost her mom 2 years ago, kind of villaging it out.
Yes.
I want to start with a very random kind of off the road, offbeat question. How are you doing? Because I find people in your business now, it is a very busy time and not for a good reason. Who encourages the encourager?
Simone, listen, but first and foremost, I really want to express my sympathies to you and your family and everybody who's loved your mother so much and who are experiencing a great deal of pain. That's the first thing. I just
Thank
want to
you.
have the chance to do that.
Thank you.
I just want to acknowledge too, Simone, how courageous you're being in, stepping out and trying to support other people. And Empress, you also for supporting Simone in spite of what you each must be experiencing. That takes a great deal of courage that I just want to acknowledge.
Thank you.
Well. And then for the psychologist in us, Simone, the truth is that, a big part of our training is about looking for small tokens of hope in everyday experiences. And I think I've been so blessed that as it's when people are suffering the most that you see the beauty of their humanity, and that almost instills hope, and it's almost like a power pill to keep us going. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's what keeps us going. Sometimes it's when people suffer the most that you see the true beauty, the courage that I'm speaking of, that you're exhibiting, and that's almost more than enough to keep us going and to make this whole work of supporting people who are struggling with life just a very meaningful and rewarding experience.
I've always said on this show that you don't know how strong you are until you have to be, right? And how I think it's important for us who are going through things to share, because there are people who are going through things who are afraid to talk about it, or who don't realize that somebody else is going through it. And by your
Absolutely.
sharing, it helps them. So we are here
Absolutely.
standing in the gap, I think, Empress, for people who are not able to articulate their grief, articulate their pain, or know what, not even tomorrow, but like the next hour looks like, because they are so blindsided by this feeling of utter devastation, gaping hole, life done, that they're feeling. So what are some of the ways, I mean, Empress has told us some of the ways that she has managed, but what are some of the, what are some of the expectations as to how we should feel? Some people feel strong, some people feel mushed down. And then what are some of the ways that we can actually cope?
Yeah. You know, Simone, the thing about it is that grief is a very, it's a universal emotion. It's messy, but it's human beings' natural response to loss. And the thing about the painful truth is that, Simone, if you love at all, you are going to know grief. That's it, you know. And so there are lots, as you said earlier, there are lots of different ways to experience it, but it is natural. And grief is just in the first days after loss, which you're probably going through right now, it's these acute and intense emotions, such as you just described, the feeling of devastation, you know, the kind of shock and, you know, just disbelief that, you know, it's almost like you can't put the two realities together. Somebody who was so important, vibrant, essential to your life, no longer being there. It's like you can't fit. It just doesn't fit those two
It don't make no
realities, you know.
sense. It just don't make
Yes.
no sense.
It's hard to come to terms with, very hard to come to terms with, you know, and you just have these preoccupying thoughts, almost sometimes trying to make sense of all the events that led up to it. And then, you know, because it happened so suddenly, you know, with it, you know, for people who have lost loved ones during COVID, the thing about it is that it happens suddenly. It happens when, you know, you can't be with your loved ones. That intensifies the experience. Simone, I don't know if you were able to be with your mom at all
No,
in her
no,
final days. We're
no,
not.
no. We were able to talk to her
Yes.
up to a certain point, by phone, by FaceTime. But up to, I mean, we got to talk to her on the final day. Thank God
Yes.
we were all able to have a discussion. Well, it wasn't really a discussion, but we got to say what I think we needed to say that morning, and then she passed in the evening. So, I mean, she had the presence of mind that morning, being who she is, to say to the doctor, call my child. And in that moment, we were just able to get everybody together so that we could, you know, say what needed to be said. I mean, even in that moment, we weren't thinking that it could have gone the way it went. But there is some comfort and solace in knowing that we did get out a whole heap of, I love you, I love you, I love yous.
And that she heard.
And that she heard. And that she heard. But it's hard not being able to have physically been there, especially for my dad, who, this is the other part of him, you know? So it's kind of like a rally now around him. It's a ring fence around him. We're all supporting each other, but it's a ring fence around him. And so how do we help him? How do we help other people who are watching, who have lost, especially in this way, to
Yes.
cope? What do you need in that toolkit to be able to move
You know
forward?
what? I do want to just point out, if you'll allow me, Simone, that, you know, the thing about it that makes it so difficult is because you're kind of on this roller coaster of emotions. They change from one minute to the next. You know, it goes from disbelief, and then 1 minute you're just sad and on the floor. Another minute you're angry, frustrated. You just want it to stop. You want to wake up. And then there's the survivor guilt, you know, especially for, people who lose people they were taking care of, your father may be feeling survivor guilt. Why her, not me? And that can, confuse you at times, and lead to the questions, that will happen. But I think I wanted to talk more, first of all, to people who are supporting people who are just bereft in sorrow right now. And the thing that's, I think, is most important, the way that you can most help, is to bear witness to this sorrow that this person is experiencing, to allow them to speak. I think that quite often, and what I've noticed, and I fall prey to occasionally myself, is that you want to soothe the people who are hurting. You know, the natural caregivers in us, we want to help the sadness to go away. And the truth is that you can't. And that influences us sometimes to not give the person what they need in our effort to soothe them, you know.
So
But the
allow them
most
to
important,
grieve, allow them to cry, allow them to
allow
speak.
them to do whatever they are doing and stand in witness to it. Be there, make it clear to them that you are here. Yes, you're uncomfortable. Their pain makes you uncomfortable and you want it to stop. Be there. Even encourage them to speak. One of the most wonderful things you can say to somebody who is experiencing this loss is to say, tell me about them. How did you feel about this person, and why are they important? Why do they mean so much to you? Tell me. I want to hear. I want to be here standing beside you as you express what you're feeling. And that's one of the most powerful things that you can do, which I don't think many people realize. You know, we want you to be strong. We tell each other, be strong, you know, pull yourself together. It will be over soon, you know, all and you know, hoping that will provide comfort, but comfort is going to be elusive for the first, you know,
For the
several
first
weeks.
forever. Sonia,
Yeah.
hold your thought, hold your thought. We're going to take a break. Laurie, with your permission, producer, I know we're going somewhere else, and we are going somewhere else when we come back, but I want Sonia to get out the rest of her points. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap with her, because I think the toolkit elements are important. So we take a break, and we come right back. All right, folks, we're back with you. Empress still on set. And Sonia, it's still in screen. All right, Sonia, we have a
Okay.
couple of minutes. So go ahead with
Yeah.
your toolkits.
Okay. I want to encourage also people who have lost it to find words to talk about their loss, you know, because just finding an accurate label for your emotions and what you're going through can be really transformative. It can reduce a kind of ocean of emotions into something that is kind of in a boundary with a name, and it helps you to just make sense of it. You know, the more you can express and be specific about what you're feeling with somebody that you feel close with. Then of course the connections that you spoke about, you know, connect with your family, with your friends, hold on to those around you, your church brethren, becoming aware that you're part of something bigger than yourself can be very nourishing at a time like this. Then of course to incorporate the life of this person into your future requires perhaps creating rituals, you know, rituals that honor the person. I remember very, very vividly losing my cousin and her daughter the first Easter after she was gone, found her Easter bun recipe and baked all these buns and sent them out just as her mother would have sent them out, and sent them out in her honor, you know. So creating rituals that create meaning and allow the person's life to live on through what you're doing in some way, you know, either in your community, in your family, little things that you do. And also what's wonderful in the early days, Simone, is when you can hear other people, such as you just did with Empress, talking about the person you've lost, so that you are confirmed that this person was important, this person was good, this person made a difference, this person mattered. And you get that affirmation by hearing other people tell their stories, sharing photographs, spending time talking about the person that you've lost. So that's another ritual that helps often. And then what's important also is to look out for what we call complicated grief. You know, if you find that after an extended period of time, the feelings of denial, the wanting to, you know, undo the past, they're coming up with explanations for why this should not have happened, stays with you. And you feel as if moving forward. You just can't move forward without doing it in a damaged way. Your relationships start to flounder, your self-care starts to flounder, your performance start to flounder, the inability to eat and sleep is extending beyond 2 months and so on. Then you're looking at complicated grief, and you really need and should seek out the support of a professional. I'll ask the people who are around the people who are lost, who have lost, to be looking out for those signs as well.
Okay. And there's no timeline on your grief, because there are people who will want to tell you shouldn't be feeling X way at X point. But you're saying if you find that you are at a really, really bad place for an extended period of time,
Yes.
then you need to reach out, because depression is the next step in that, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then the village.
And you can know by how you're interacting with the world. You know how
Okay.
you're interacting with self-care, your relationship care, work, social life, and so on. If
Okay.
you're just underperforming and destroying those domains, you know that it's time to get some additional help.
Okay, got you. Thank you so much.
Walk good, Simone. Walk good. Hold
wish you
on.
had-
Cleave to those that you love, and then your mother will live on in your actions. I know.
She will. She will. She has to. She has to. Thank you very much, Sonia Winter,
Thank you.
our clinical psychologist.
All the
with us.
best, Empress. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you
good
for
to have
being my
you.
therapist today. I needed some of that.
Well, that's the other thing, is that it's so important. Well, the people try to hear me on this show talk about the importance of therapy, but your mother was a psychologist,
Yes,
so
my
you
mother.
ought to know that
was.
there is help in not only the village support that you spoke of, but in support by way of somebody who can help give you the tools that you need. Support, important. Apparently there are, I don't know, Lori, this is all you're doing, so run it. What can I say? Run it, Lori.
Hi Sim, just sending you so much love, my friend. I want you to know that I'm here for you and your family in any way you may need. And I hope that you know that you're being held and you're being carried and taken through this unimaginable loss. We love you so much, and we're here for you always.
Why, Sim, I wish I could do something to make this go away. I wish I could say something to make you happy. But I think you know what I'm going to say, that if you ever need a shoulder or two, you know where to find me. I love you, my friend. God bless you.
Sim, we have been through so many different losses over the years. Pregnancy, relationships, close friends and family. But this one hurt. I remember one thing that we did though was that we chose to get up. So each day we would get up, and then the next day we would get up, and then the next day, and the next day after that. To get through this, we're going to take with us, right, all the memories and the lessons that Gob has taught us. Lessons about faith, friendships, and family. I love you. Love you, sis.
I want you to know that we stand with you during this difficult period of your journey. We all know that mothers are very special people. May you be comforted by the memories of your mother's love and kindness, her courage and cheerfulness. May the memories of how she lived out her faith among her family and friends, among her church and community, bring you peace in the months and years ahead. Sim, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Lots of love.
Hi Sim, you already know how much I love and respect you because I tell you every single day. Thank you so much for choosing me to help you birth the magic that is Sim's Soul Sessions. This is truly your calling from God. When I was ready to cancel this episode, you stood your ground because you felt someone out there needed to hear this message. You are oh so brave, oh so selfless, and so caring. I have no doubts that Mommy is beaming with pride right now. The evening she passed away, I reread one of her last messages to me, and it said, "Lori, you are good for Simone, but I truly think we are good for each other. I'll be here until the wheels fall off, girl. Chin up, Queen. I love you so much."
Hey, Simmer. I don't even remember one morning we were sitting on the Smile Jamaica set and we're having a discussion about the show. And you were at a crossroads between what your heart wanted you to do and practically what might have been the easy road to take. And the decision was, my heart is telling me that people need a space. And a space that is going to help them to heal, that is going to help them to grow, that is going to help them to realize that people are always there for them and always around them, and no matter how difficult it is, strength is in them. And I don't know if His universe was saying to you, create a space, because now you're in that space. And I just want to reinforce to you, to Sim Soul, that will love you, that there is support for you, and that this space that you have created is a space for which we are here. We love you, honey. Love you.
Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Life is unpredictable, so we don't always get to choose the family we get or how long that love will last. I am so sorry, Simone, that the end of the physical journey of you and your mom's love has sadly come to pass. Remember the love and the vigor and the strength. See that strength she taught you? Now you need that resilience. Lean on your friends and God. I am a part of your very strong support system. Be patient with yourself, even though right now I know that a part of you feels missing. Cry if you want to, and if you feel like it, cry again. But let me remind you, your mom is in a better place, and I know she loves heaven. You have been through so much, and I know it can be overwhelming. So we'll pray when we need to, because God's angels are descending to surround you with comfort and strength and love, whilst your mom continues to watch over you, Simone, from above. You have gained a new angel in a higher form, even if you don't know it yet, but that's okay. You have to mourn. Sometimes we win, other times we lose. You gained an angel, my dear friend, even if we know that whole concept is a bit abstruse. Sending you all the love. You may have my number. You can call me anytime to say nothing at all. I am here even just to be your silent company. I am so sorry, my friend, but God must have needed Mommy. May her soul rest in peace. Sending you all the love, my dear friend.
Simone, I know that this must be a very difficult time for you, and I truly wish I had the words to make it easier. But what I do know is that you have shown an incredible amount of strength over the past couple of days, and we see that strength really as the strength of your mother shining through you. She was an amazing woman who grew an amazing daughter. And I want you to remember that all of us, your friends, your colleagues, are still here praying for you, keeping you in our thoughts, and lifting you up in spirit. As you go through this very difficult time, I want to remind you that you're not going through it alone and that we are here with you.
Simone, you have been such a tower of strength and a source of inspiration to so many people that have come in contact with you. That is what you do. And so in this very difficult time, I really hope that you know that you have your whole entire Grace Kennedy family behind you and your wider support system, your wider community. We're all here standing with you. We love you, and we know that God will put his protective hands on you. We'll keep you consistently in our prayers and in our thoughts, and we're here for you. So we just hope you continue to stay strong. Take care.
So Simone, on behalf of the crew here in studio, we miss you on set. We love you, Simone.
And I love you guys too. And it is that support that has been able to keep me and my family going. So thank you, everybody. You guys are awesome. All right. What are you crying for, girl? I'm going to take a break. Affirmation is next. So I'm right back. All right, back for our final segment. I'm just going to allow Empress to give some words of encouragement for the folks who are watching. We are doing this program for everybody who has gone through, is going through loss and does not know how to process. And then I will try to get the last part of the show done. So over to you, lady, for a brief bit.
Simone. It's important that the family comes together when one member goes. It's important that you listen to your other family members, your siblings, you know, the partner, your dad or your mom who's left behind, and ask them what they want, what they're feeling. It's important from this lesson that you as a person, you're going to die. I'm going to die, and I have to do better in preparing so that when I leave, that my children are okay. And I really want to encourage people to look at life insurance and health insurance. That if you do pass away, one thing, my mother had her life insurance, that we were able to have 2 memorials for her. The burden wasn't on us, yeah? And she had some savings that we were able to use to distribute to the grandkids and things like that, which she wanted, yeah? So there's that part of the business that you must prepare, and talk to your parents, because if you lose a parent, you want to know, where's the password to your computer? What do I do with this? Where are your bank accounts? What do you want me to do? Do you want a burial? What do you want your send-off to look like?
It sounds like a morbid discussion, but it's very important because you want to honor their wishes when they're gone.
Yeah, because it's confusing when you're grieving and you're going through everything. You know, the wrap-up is usually very quick. You know, you're trying to get the body here or cremate, you're trying to plan the funeral or the memorial, and you're confused, and you get lost in preparing.
But what about you? You keep talking about the business, and it's showing me that you're not processing for yourself. Yeah. So what do people do for themselves? And maybe in that you will find out that you need to be doing some more for yourself.
Maybe. I spent the past 2 years making sure everybody else was okay, including my dad.
So guess what? It's time for now.
It's time for me to process it and heal. Thank
you,
Simone.
Excellent.
Thanks, my counselor.
Excellent. I can't counsel you, but I can tell you that you're going to need.
Yeah, it's hard because, you know, I've gone 2 years nonstop just trying to make sure that my dad is okay, and watching him go through it has been very painful.
Which is why you need, which is an additional reason that you need that layer of support.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk through that after, okay? I know a lot of people. I can hook you up. I'm going to need some work myself, so we can do that together as well. Yeah. This now is easily, thank you, Mama, going to be the hardest affirmation I've ever done. I'm not even sure it's going to be an affirmation, to be honest, as much as it's going to be a tribute or just an expression of what I have in my heart. I'm doing it with a heavy but a happy heart. Heavy because my mother is no longer here in body. It's hard to say, I can't believe I'm even saying that, but I'm happy that Mommy was here to see this show and this dream become reality. Biggest fan of the show, a most ardent viewer, biggest cheerleader, and that's one of the many blessings that I'm giving thanks for in her almost 71 years with us. So now it is time for our affirmation. I kind of feel like every single show has prepared me for this affirmation and for this very moment, but I still feel completely unprepared. I feel like I was prepared for tests and trials ahead of me, but this was one I did not see coming anytime soon. And I won't lie to you guys, I don't understand. But as I have often said on this show, even the things that we don't understand, we have to accept. This is a plan that God has drawn up. And in the grand scheme of things, we are but parts of that grand plan. My family's collective heart, our collective hearts are broken into 1,000 tiny pieces, but they are still so full of love and gratitude to God for Mommy's life, a life well lived, so impactful, so strong, so special. The love of our lives, that is Miss World, who taught us, along with Dad, how to live, how to love, and how to deal with life's curveballs. And this one has bowled us, and for a time it has us pretty broken up, but we will be better, one day at a time. Only way out, as I've always said, is through. And so we push through, girded by our love for her and the beautiful memories that we have shared. And she will live in our hearts forever. Our light, our guardian angel. Novlet Claire Clarke, I thank you for everything. And so tonight I am affirming that I cannot see how, and I don't know when, but in time we will start to heal and we will start to mend. God bless all of you going through loss. Thank you for watching the show tonight, and God willing, I'll be back here next week. Take care, everybody.